Hello and welcome to No Books Given. I'm Felicity and I have Ivan with me this week. So it's just us alone. We have been trusted with a short podcast. I promise it will be shorter than usual because I surely can't waffle on for an hour on my own with my 4-year-old son in the background. Do you want to say hi, Ivan?
Hi.
We've just been up to get the horses in from the livery, causing mayhem up there. They're not great being horses, really. They're getting there. They're enjoying late nights, so we're getting there. So yes, my topics of conversation today, I think I'll keep it short and sweet. So I will briefly probably mention my fencing. I'll briefly mention how I lost my horse earlier. And two things, I believe, that Stephen is helpfully starting a Room 101, so I'd like to add on key bits for braking and flash nosebands. Oh, and also grackles and drops, but they kind of class as the same. So yeah, I've wanted to talk about tack for a while, but obviously Sam's not very well this week, so we're going to do some individual ones. So yes, I've been trusted with the mic, so brace yourselves, people. I'm going to let you into my little world and my brain. I promise not to share too much because I am an oversharer, to be honest with you. Many of you will know that. So yeah, here we go. Welcome to the podcast of No Books Given with a Difference. So yes, what was I watching? Badminton. This is the thing that's on at the moment. So it was racing before. Badminton, much more fun, I believe. I love it. I don't actually watch it that much, but I did catch snippets. And again, dressage. Love dressage. I really enjoy dressage because now I'm on a team, I can feel a bit, knobby and all that. But watching the dressage, I have seen numerous types of tack, and yeah, I thought there was a rule coming in that said about looser nosebands and blah blah blah. However, I'm not sure if they check the flash and how tight a flash noseband is. Maybe somebody can educate me on that one. But as far as I can see, watching short videos earlier, and I know it's only a snippet in time, but that's all you need really, is the amount of flashes and how tight they are on the ponies' noses. It's awful. It's such uncomfortable watching. I think the more you know, the more you see, and then you really can't unsee it. So yeah, watching that, it's just horrendous. And like, they'll finish their test, they'll come out blowing a little bit because it's hot, and they've worked very hard. And the grooms don't undo the well, yeah, they're very pretty. We go past the oilseed rape. It's very exciting. Yeah. So, and they don't undo traditionally, I would have thought, and I've been taught, as soon as you're done, you undo your girth, you undo your noseband a bit so they can breathe. I know they breathe through the nose, not the mouth. So maybe that theory's old school, but it just releases it and tells the horse they can relax. But watching a couple of videos of them leaving the arena, they leave the flash straps as tight as when they were competing, and they are so tight you could just see how much they're squeezing it. There's like bulging nose either side of the strap. To me, that's too tight. Far too tight. Pretty flowers. This is going to be the most random podcast you've probably ever listened to. But yeah, they're so tight that you can see the bulging nose, and it just makes me uncomfortable. And the fact that they don't undo it after the event is pretty off, in my opinion. That's the first thing you do, is undo your girth, let them have a breather, cool them down, la-di-da. So yeah, that's something that needs to go Room 101. Now the reason flash straps, I think, were invented, as far as I know, again, happy to be educated, is to keep the horse's mouth shut. And you've got to ask yourself, why would you want to keep your horse's mouth shut? Maybe because they put the tongue over the bit, or they cross their jaw. That's useful when you have a grackle. Or there's something, like my horse did open her mouth to evade the bit pressure. There's various reasons. However, I think this day and age, you've really got to start questioning yourself and asking why you're using a flash. Now, to me, the only reason you use a flash is to keep your mouth shut. So why is the horse wanting to open the mouth? There maybe is some dental problems, something going on in the mouth, generally with the gums, the tongue, the palate, something like that. The bit isn't right for them. It's causing undue pressure, it's causing pressure points, there's something going on in there that the horse is avoiding. Heavy hands. It could just be as simple as the rider has heavy hands, which comes from inexperience or just a general way of riding, or they niggle at the horse all the time, piss them off, quite honestly. But yeah, you've got to ask yourself, why is my horse opening its mouth? Try and solve that issue and then go from there. And I think for me, the flash strap, the grackle, the drops may be a little bit different depending how they're used, but I'm not sure. Jury's out on that at the moment. But those type of nosebands, the only reason you use them is to hide a problem. because you've got a problem of your horse opening its mouth, your tongue evading the pressure, the mouth evading the pressure, lolling their tongue about. All these things are evading something. Now, horses generally don't evade things unless it's too much. So yeah, to me, flash straps, really bad idea. Need to go in room 101, get rid of them, because they hide something. And I don't care what level you are, and everybody goes, oh well, so-and-so, they're like, because the top riders, Olympians, whatever, they're like, well, they must know what they're doing. Have we learned nothing since somebody was in the press about that? And various other riders, and also like the FEI have looked at the dressage rules and nosebands and how, you know, they even have a little measure to measure how tight a noseband is. To me, good horsemanship, good riding, you don't actually need a noseband. I've ridden hundreds of thousands of horses. Well, they could be in thousands. You don't need a noseband, 9 times out of 10. And I'm not a top rider, not by any stretch, but I do train the babbies. I do train the ones with issues, all sorts. And in my opinion, you don't really need a noseband. They don't really do a lot. So yeah, get rid of them. Maybe ban the noseband. Why not? Horses have beautiful heads, so why not? Let's just embrace that. So yeah, that's my little thought on nosebands. And then, yeah, so I would put them in room 101. If Stephen could do that, that would be really handy, thank you. And then my second one was key bits. Now, I've backed a few horses over my time, I've helped back horses, I've seen horses backed, I've come in at different stages of their backing and developed them from there. That's kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis, most of the time. Sometimes I just want to enjoy myself. But yeah, other times I do work, and also, to me, I think we overcomplicate it in a way. I think the backing process should be about setting your horse up to take those skills forward in life and handle their own emotions and just be like, right, this is fine. I can trust this person. They're not going to ask me anything ridiculous. If they do, I'm quite good with that. You know, I'm fine. And that's what we're teaching them. We're teaching them the right attitude. And for me, key bits, they're very... I understand the theory behind them. I think was to give youngsters something to think about, like a busy mind needs something to do. But for me, that busy mind needs to be focused on the human trying to train them, not what's going on in the mouth. Plus, horses are really sensitive, and like the tongue, like my mare particularly, has a big fleshy tongue, and she was backed with a key bit, and she's constantly been a fusspot with her mouth, constantly opened her mouth, constantly crossed her jaw, she's lolled her tongue out, she gets her tongue over the bit, all these problems. Now I will say we've solved these problems with a horsemanship hanging cheek. Horsemanship Saddlery UK, Maureen Webb, is a very good friend of mine. I've known her years now. We've worked together on multiple horses, and she has taught me awesome things, like so much more than she's helped me grow as a person, as a horse trainer, as who I am, as a coach, everything. So she's just amazing. Love her to bits. She's brilliant. And her knowledge is second to none. So she created Horsemanship Saddlery to create anatomical bridles, anatomical girths, anatomical head collars in all sizes, because before they came along, they've been going a long time now, I don't know how many years, quite a few years, we're all getting on a bit, because the off-the-shelf bridles just didn't fit. They're designed, like Freddie, for example, had a full bridle, and he's actually an extra full, and there was no options really. They were very, very restricted, whereas Maureen's bridles at Horsemanship UK Saddlery, you can just adjust every little single bit of it, and there's so much thought gone into it, but I'll leave that to her to explain. We'll have her as a guest, or you can find her at my open day at the livery. That's on the 23rd of May. If anybody wants to pop up, you're more than welcome. So yeah, that's a bit of a random tangent. But Maureen's bits, we've tried several on V, and to be honest, I tried, I think, in a D-ring first with I think they call them a HS mouthpiece. I could get this wrong, and I usually do get it the wrong way around. There's a HP mouthpiece and a HS mouthpiece. They're both different, but they prevent the collapse on the tongue. So they're not single jointed. They have like a little barrel in the middle that holds a bit out, and they're shaped around the bars as well. And the action's very different. So V has basically gone through quite a few bits, not of Maureen's, just general, and through a process of me talking to Maureen and telling her what I was experiencing with V, being like fussy in the mouth, blah de blah. She's come up with, her idea was a hanging cheek, and I was like, well, I haven't actually tried one of those, which it does actually, when you pick up the contact with the hanging cheek, it relieves pole pressure. Quite a few horses have a big ligament. Now I cannot pronounce it. It begins with an N and then it's a U and an A or something like that. So like neutral, I'm rubbish at pronouncing it. Never did study Latin, and you can tell. There's a big ligament at the top of the horse's head, and that links all the way back. Sam will be able to tell you exactly what that does and all the technical stuff. But that, yeah, basically, when you lift that, it relieves that pressure off the poll. So that's really helpful for a lot of horses, and V really, really responded to that. So I tried her in this bit at Maureen's for a little bit fitting, which Maureen is available for bit fittings as well. So if anybody needs contact details, please do give us a message. We'll pass details on. But yeah, the miracle happened. We tried this bit and V just walked along and she slowed down, she listened, she was so light in the contact. I barely had a contact. I could literally hold her on my little finger. It was just absolutely amazing. And because she's part Frisian, I actually felt that proper Frisian walk come back, which seems to have disappeared over the years, or whether she's ever had it really. She was always quite high knee action, but not through the shoulder. So I would highly recommend a bit fitting. Like if you've got any problems with the horse's way of going, anything like that, please do consider your bridle and your bit and your saddle. All of it matters, and you. So, but that's a good place to start. And that brings me back to after a long ramble, we were expecting it and it's happened. The key bits, because V was broken in with the key bit. It gave her too much to fuss with, I think. And in my opinion, when you're training a horse, it needs to be simple, straightforward, really black and white, yes, no answers, and set them up for a win. And I don't think those bits help with that, because what they do is distract the mind. And, you know, you can imagine having something tickling your tongue the whole time. It would be quite uncomfortable. I don't think that's a nice feeling for anyone. So, yeah, ban them as well. They don't seem to do the job. I think a horse should be focusing on the handler, not what's going on in its mouth. And it doesn't create a mouth. How you create a mouth is not through that. So you create steering and bend, and also, like, through working with your horse, groundwork, asking them to stretch, asking them to yield to pressure. And it's a certain way they turn their head. They can't just turn the whole neck. It doesn't quite work like that. They've got to be able to turn like their chin in and up. So there's different ways of doing that. So that's a whole different topic. But yeah, it starts on the ground, and it doesn't start with a key bit really. I think that gives them too much to go on. I mean, to me, key bits are in the sort of realm of attach side reins and leave your horse there stood in an outline with side reins on. Again, why would you? It's forcing a contact, it's forcing an outline. It's not asking the horse to yield, and like, it's not got a giving hand, it's not got any elasticity, it's all very fixed. Yes, you can have elastic in side reins. Also, I don't like side reins. While I'm on it, get rid of them. Done, gone. They're in room 101. It's quite a big bucket right now. But yeah, I don't like them either. I would love to talk about tack more, because I can just ramble on about it, because it's quite a passion. And I'm like, these people that can ride without tack, absolutely, I'm just in awe of them. Maybe if I put more effort in, I could do that. I mean, I got as close as when I was younger, riding my horse George, who was my like heart horse, as you call him. It's one of my heart horses. I think you can have many heart horses. Yeah, had a few to drink when I was a young teen. Not that young, but we'd been to the pub and I thought it was great. One of these summer's evenings, you know, as you do, when you go, oh, come see my horses. And I went to see the horses and I got on him, and he didn't care. He never cared. He was such a dude. He was brilliant. So I sat on George. I don't know if I've recounted this story. I do apologise for repeating myself. But yeah, sat on him and off we went. And he was walking, because obviously you've got no bridle, no saddle, nothing. He's just on him in the field, and it was a lovely, lovely bonding moment. But yeah, then he started walking away, and then he trotted away, and I came off the back of him, straight up, legs up, over we go, and really hurt my coccyx. And I know I probably broke it because, one, I couldn't really walk very well for a while. Two, in pregnancy, my coccyx was quite painful because of all that pressure. So yeah, that was one of my little random stories. But don't do that. Don't drink ride. It's not a good idea. It's not big, it's not clever, and it usually hurts. However, I do respect and appreciate these people that can ride without tack. They're probably not silly teenagers at that point. They probably put a bit more effort in. But I did used to ride him without bridle and a saddle. He just had a head collar. And he was bloody brilliant. And do you know what? If you've ever got like the bravery and a nice secure environment, I wouldn't suggest you just wander out down the road or down a bridleway. But if you ever get the chance to just ride your horse in a head collar and lead ropes, it's amazing how much they respond to that. Like, you don't need all this tack, and it starts to make me question how we've ridden them for years. And like, yeah, strapping the mouth shut, spurs, kicking them on. I mean, I don't like riding in spurs either, and I'm a bit hippy dippy now with my riding. I would say I'm still quite traditional, but I have quite a few new age ideas, I would say. But I think that's a good thing because we all evolve and we should all evolve, and I think question what we're seeing. And I think flash straps definitely need to go in that question pile, because what are we hiding? To me, they don't do any good. They just hide the problem. And we should always work to deal with our horses' problems, not just hide things. So yeah, hopefully that's been informative and interesting, not just a ramble about nothing in particular. Yeah, and I feel like I do need to mention my fencing. I'm going to just do it. I'm going to do it. I'm sorry, guys. It's just like a running theme now. And I've got free rein, so nobody can stop me. But yes, I am going to re-fence my paddocks at my livery, because I'm just a bit... Now, if anybody's got any tips on this, I'd be grateful. But we have it... The fields are like in a line, you know, one next to the other, and then as horses come in, we go up the tracks and whatever. But there is a far field. It's a nice field. It's a big field. It has a tree line bit, and it's lovely. Not much different to the others, but apparently it is. Apparently something bad's happened in that field, or the demons live there, or there's bad juju. I am yet to work out what is wrong with that field, because I personally think it's a nice field, but not according to the horses. So every time we put a horse in there, they like gallop around like mentals. They jump out, they go through the fencing, under the fencing, around the fencing. They just don't really settle up there. And I don't know if it's because they feel like they're furthest away from the barn, and that's the issue. And they're lonely, because obviously horses like to be in a herd, and at the moment we have individual paddocks. We're going to, yeah, that's just the way the yard works at the moment, and that's personal preference for people, so that's a whole different topic we're not going to get into. That just will be it till midnight. And my short podcast will no longer be short. But we have this furthest field. Now, I am genuinely going to buy some sage from a lovely little shop in Howden. I think it's white sage you need, and Tom loves beautiful shop in Howden. I'm going to plug him because he's brilliant. Sells these little sage bundles with little rose on the front. Lovely. Now, I've heard people burn that stuff and like waft it round, and the smoke gets rid of demons and bad juju. Now, I am all for trying things, and I'm not overly voodoo, whatever. I'm not like, you know, hippy dippy that to that extent that I would do that in my own house. However, I am seriously and genuinely considering it for this field. I can't cope with the fact that nobody wants to use this field. I feel it's that or an exorcist, and I feel it's cheaper to burn sage. Now, I did redo this podcast because I just wasn't quite happy. I dropped a few names and I thought I'm going to get myself in trouble, so I thought I'll wuss out. Anybody that wants to talk to me about that can ask me. They were famous riders, but I feel like, you know, I'm overstepping the mark, so I've dragged it back, I've pulled it back. So, yeah, I'm not brave enough on my own. I need Sam for that. She'll say it, she won't care, or bring it out in me. So yes, anyway, earlier on I said I'm going to set it on fire, and I did mean the sage, not the field. I did sound like a bit of an arsonist. So yes, I'm not going to set the field on fire. I'm going to burn some sage, waft it around at the top of the field, probably not in the sight of the horses. I mean, it might help. They might see that I'm doing the good for them. I'm burning the demons away, sending them back where they came from. But I don't know. But anyway, I'll come back to my fencing problem. So the idea is I'm going to switch my paddocks around so that is no longer the end paddock. So we're going to have 3 in a row, take a bit further down, and therefore nobody is at the end. I think that's a genius plan, personally. So I'll let you know how that goes. I do have my open day on the 23rd. It's a bit of a chance to show off the yard, see what's what, see how I work. I've also said I'll do a demo. Now, I'm very good at like overrunning myself, so I'm now a bit panicked as to what the hell I'm going to do. So, suggestions? I like long reining. I could do long reining, and I thought I could bring Freddie, but he's a bit too fat. Freddie's a whole different story. Might have to retire him, but we're just seeing. We've got physio next Friday, so I'll update you then. But yes, currently, we're thinking something to do with it. So yes, anyway, I've got my open day. I'm going to re-fence my fields. I have a plan. So it's fine. We're going to have 3, maybe 2, but mainly 3 paddocks there. So that's exciting. So I am sure I will be updating you with how frustrating I am feeling, or frustrated I am feeling with fencing by that point. I will be at my wit's end, but it'll be worth it because I'll never have to do it again, ever. I'll just have to maintain it, but that's fine, as long as I don't have to restart. So yeah, I'm sure you'll be hearing more from me and my fencing soon. So yeah, I hope this has been a bit of an interesting podcast. Bit different. I am missing Sam. It's very strange without her. I mean, even the voice notes, I've had to behave myself to hold it in because she's been poorly, and I don't want to disturb somebody that's poorly. It's not very nice. When you're dying, you don't want to hear from somebody ranting about fencing, quite honestly. I mean, you don't really want to hear about somebody ranting about fencing anyway. So yeah. So from Ivan and me, who's been very quiet actually. First few recordings he wasn't quiet, he was singing songs and all sorts. But now he's gone all shy and not said anything. So yeah, I'm going to sign off, and I hope you've had an interesting podcast with just me. And I might have to start introducing myself as Fliss or Flick, because Felicity sounds all very formal. And I also, if you've noticed the AI, it's very blue hair. My hair's actually getting bluer according to AI. In fact, it's not, it's getting greyer. So someone's going to be dyeing my hair more blue. And that is a random thought. So I'll probably cut off now because I am just rambling on. So hopefully this will go live soon, and next week, or you might even hear from Stephen. Now, I was in stitches with Stephen and Sam. I thought that was absolutely brilliant. So I'm sure they'll be on again. We are going to arrange more guests soon as well. It's just crazy. What is it with May being crazy? Or is it end of April? I don't even know. The bank holidays come and it just throws you all out. So yeah, we'll look forward to being back together soon. Like an old married couple. Can't be without her. But yeah, we will be back soon discussing all sorts. And I do have a list from everybody's notes, so we'll discuss what you've been putting across. And we really do appreciate every listen, every share, every comment. It really, really does help, and we're having so much fun. I have actually signed up to be a brand ambassador for somebody. I won't mention it just yet. Partly because I'm struggling to remember the name. Now that's really terrible, but that is typical and us style, really. So yeah, I'm a great brand ambassador. I can't remember the name, but basically I'll be updating soon on that, and I want all the information, and we'll do a little bit of a plug and you can see if you like it. So we'll see. We're not going to go down that route, but yeah, there's things coming. So yeah, we might even do our own merchandise soon, so look out for that. I'm very excited. So yeah, we'll speak soon, and I hope you've enjoyed this random podcast, and hopefully Sam will let it go live because she's in charge. I'm not trusted yet with the technology, and rightly so, because I still can't get myself on Spotify to listen to the latest episode. I am that useless. So thank you for listening. Yeah, really enjoyed rambling on to myself. It's a bit weird, but you get used to it. So yeah, thanks guys, and again, please share, please like, please get everybody liking it. The more followers, the better, and then we can discuss more things. And I have ordered microphones, so for those of you that are thinking, oh, the sound's a bit crispy, a bit echoey, not great, and I'm always really quiet because Sam's really loud. Is it me or is it her? Nobody knows. I have actually ordered microphones, so watch this space. We're getting professional. Check us out. So yes, from Felicity and Ivan, our guest star today, who didn't really say much after all that, we will speak soon. Thank you for listening.